All right. So following up on the list from last night and following up on our board of directors list and our assignment of getting these 10 people invited over the 24 hours from last night until tonight. So it's 10 calls. Now, granted, you're not going to reach everybody on the first call, but you had 24 hours to call 10 people. So plenty of time to do it. And yet still a lot of you have not reached people. Fine, totally fine. The other thing is that several people on your responses have put not available today or call back tomorrow, call at a different time. Okay, great. Here's the thing. When you when you invite people, all right, you are in control of the information. So, first of all, you never want to give out a video link or a Zoom link or a meeting link until you know that they can make it. That's rule number one, because that puts you in control of the information. So that means that they will wonder what it is until you give them the information. So you want to keep them curious and keep them interested. Here's the other thing. If you allow someone to give you an excuse, and this is very important to understand about inviting in general, okay? Let's just say, for example, all right, let's say tonight you invited John, and John told you no, he couldn't be available tonight or tomorrow night, because remember, the assignment was to get everybody invited over the next 48 hours. So you had 24 hours to call 10 people and get them scheduled over the next 48 hours, all right? But let's just say that John said, I'm not available tonight because I have a PTA meeting and I have to go to this meeting. Okay, whatever the reason is. Okay, it could be any excuse. What you need to understand is that as soon as you accept that response, all right, so you ask them to get on the Zoom or to come to a meeting, and they give you a response, and you say, no problem, great, I understand, totally get it, I'll catch you another time. Immediately what you did was whatever their response was. Okay, so if it was PTA, if it was a basketball game, if it was the Rams are playing the Vikings, whatever, whatever the excuse was, and you said okay, now what's happened is anything you're going to show them or share with them is automatically less important than what you agreed to let them out, right? Let them not come, let them not participate, because you said no problem, no big deal. And so in our head, we're thinking, okay, we're letting them off the hook at the end of the day, right? We're letting them off the hook. We're not trying to pressure them. But what you did actually in return was you told them that whatever it was that they gave you as the excuse now is much more valuable and important than whatever it is that you told them, because you told them, if you followed my instructions, that this is important, your opinion matters to me, this is very serious, I want to get your feedback on it, it's critical, it's important. Like that we talked about that yesterday. That was the approach. So if you said that and then they go, sorry, I have basketball practice tonight. Okay, no worries, no problem, we'll catch up a different time. So now basketball practice equals more important than whatever it was that you were talking about, because you already let them off the hook for basketball practice. So if you have a list of 10 and you didn't get anybody scheduled, that's a huge problem, okay? If you can't get your 10 scheduled, why would you think that anybody that you recruit or sign up is going to be able to do something that you can't do yourself? And so if you're looking at your list of 10 and you didn't get any progress on your list of 10, that is a massive red flag. It's a huge problem, because what it tells me is that you in your head don't realize how critical and how important what we have is, right? Because what you just told them, all those people that gave you a reason or an excuse of why they couldn't get on the Zoom tonight or why they couldn't come to the meeting tonight or tomorrow night, you elevated whatever their excuse was to higher than what you have to show them. So here's the problem. Next time you call them, anything that they come up with is going to be more important than what you're doing. So you're never, it's like a one-shot deal. It's like one shot. You have one chance, like the contest that you see at the NBA games or the college games where they let you shoot like one shot from half court, or the Pat McAfee thing where he lets you kick one kick to win $1 million or $500,000 or whatever it is. You have one shot. you need to think about your invites the exact same way. Because if you let them off and say PTA is more important, basketball practice, basketball game, work call, Rams game, Vikings game, basketball game, whatever the excuse is, and you're like, yeah, sure, no worries, I'll call you tomorrow. It's no big deal, no problem. See, you think that you're letting them off, but what you're doing is you're training them. See, the problem with this business is that you train from the first exposure. So when you teach them that what you have is less important than PTA, basketball, practice, whatever that they gave you tonight, then now what's happening is anytime you call them to invite them again, you're automatically lower than all of that. So chances are you're never going to get them. So what that means is that when you're inviting, you need to think about it. I have one shot to get them on the Zoom, to get them to the meeting. Because if you let them off for any of those things, now all of those things are extra elevated, and now your whatever it is that you're going to talk to them about that you said was so important, so critical, but yet way less important than PTA, way less important than softball practice, way less important than T-ball practice, way less important than little dribblers practice, or whatever it was that they told you that they had tonight. And you're like, oh, no worries. It's okay. I'll call you a different day. So now what you've done is you've taught them, you've educated them that what you have is not nearly as important as whatever the excuse was that they gave you tonight. So now every time you call them, it's going to be another excuse. And what's going to happen is it's going to be less important and less critical because they've already given you something. And so you're already down here. You're low man, low woman on the totem pole. So it's a one-shot deal. It's you call them, you get them there because you told, like I told you yesterday, I look up to you. I value your opinion. It's critical to me. It's very important to me. I value your opinion. I just need 15 minutes, 20 minutes max of your time. It's so important to me. I'll do whatever it takes to get you in front of this information so that you can see it and give me your opinion on it. Okay? So you can't take just any old flimsy excuse and then not get them scheduled, right? Because the assignment last night was to call the 10 and get the 10 scheduled in the next 48 hours. There's going to be some point in the next 48 hours where you can get that person to give you 15 minutes of your time, but only if your mentality is this is a one-shot deal. And so if you can't get them on the Zoom, try a recorded Zoom, okay? If you can't get them to a live meeting, try a Zoom. If you can't get them to a Zoom, then get them on a recorded presentation or go meet them for coffee or go meet them for lunch or go meet them for dinner tomorrow night. Buy their dinner, bribe them. Here's the thing. These people, right, are not going to turn down free food or free drinks. People ask me, they're like, Wes, how can you guarantee your success? What's your secret? What's the cheat code? Well, here's the thing. If you buy them food or buy them drinks and say, hey, meet me for lunch, meet me for coffee, meet me for a drink, nobody's going to turn down free food and drinks. So if you value these people's opinion, then use that to bribe them. Okay? Use food, use drinks, use meeting up. This is critical. And so here's the thing. Do you value your time? Do you hold this up here above PTA, above little dribblers, above T-ball, above softball, above whatever it is, above the Vikings game, above the Rams game, above the college basketball, whatever it is that they gave you as their reason or as their excuse or whatever? How do you value that? What's your response? Okay. Here's another thing to illustrate my point. Okay. And then I'll get off this subject because this is something that I see happen over and over again. A lot of times when people invite someone to a presentation and they've been doing this for a little while, they don't expect them to show, which is wild to me, so crazy to me. Because if somebody is meeting me, I don't care where it is and when it is, I expect them to be there. It's kind of like if you had somebody who agreed to go on a date with you and you showed up. And granted, if you're a guy, you should be picking her up. But in today's day and age, there's a lot of guys who don't do that. So let's just say you're a guy and you meet her and you take your car and she takes her car, but she doesn't show up. That's a sign, okay? But the other thing is that are you going to ask her out again? I mean, because she was coming on a date with you, coming to meet you. You went to the movies or went to the bar or went to the restaurant and then she didn't show up and you're okay with that? Like, that's crazy to me because I'm not going to ask that same person to come again because I clearly did not do a good job inviting her or requesting her presence, which we talked about with the inviting message yesterday, because she didn't come. But here's what's crazy. People come to meetings and I'm like, hey, how many guests do you have coming? And they're like, well, I have two, but you know how that goes. I'm like, no, I don't know how that goes. Because if people tell me they're coming, if I have meetings with two people, I'm expecting them to be there. But here's what happens is that we let people off. We let them off. We come up with excuses for them. And we have low expectations. So see, the more we do this, the lower our expectations get. It's kind of like guys, it's like guys that settle, right? It's like you ask out the girl that you really want to go out with, and she shoots you down or no shows you. So you're like, I'll just go, I'll lower my standards a little bit. I'll go for something that's a little bit more certain, a little bit easier, a little bit more sure, because I already got my feelings hurt once. I already got turned down once. And so we do that same thing with the business to where we ask somebody to come and then they don't show or they give us an excuse and then we're just okay with it. And then we'll ask, hey, it's no big deal. You can come next week. You can come the following Tuesday, the following Thursday. Why is it that that's your attitude? See, because to me, if I'm meeting someone and I'm there at the restaurant or I'm at the bar or I'm at the movies or wherever I'm at, and I'm meeting someone and they're not there, I'm like putting their face on a milk cart. And I'm like, where are you? Like, you should be here. Are you okay? Were you in an accident? Was there something wrong? Did something happen? Like, what happened to you? Because I'm expecting them to be there. But once again, as people do the business, we talked about this yesterday, right? With new people listen, they're coachable, they're teachable. But as people do the business, their expectations get lower because they get more rejection, they get more excuses, they get more disappointment, and then they accept it. So then what happens is then you just get used to it. So then you say, well, Wes, I invited 5 people to the meeting, but who knows who's going to show up? Maybe nobody. And I'm like, no, I don't understand that. I don't get that, because if they told me they're going to be here, I expect them to be there. If they're not there at 5 minutes till, I'm calling them, asking them where they're at. See, this is all about your expectation. So see, when you invite someone, you're expecting them to show up. When they say yes, that they're going to be there, you expect them to be there. So if you have 2 confirmed guests, you should have 2 guests there. And if they're not there, you should be calling the Red Cross. You should be calling them. Where are you? Are you okay? Did you get in an accident? That's your attitude. And you shouldn't lower your standards because somebody else gave you an excuse or because you couldn't get somebody there. So if on your list of 10, you didn't get everybody, somebody gave you an excuse, but you tried to answer the excuse and you tried to show them how important it was. And you tried to explain to them how critical this was, that they saw it immediately. And so you didn't take well, I'm going to basketball practice, or I'm going to T-ball, or I'm going to PTA meeting, or whatever the BS excuse is. You didn't take that. And so you at least tried. That makes that person go, man, this must be really important to her. This must be really important to him. He didn't just let me off the hook. He didn't just go, oh, cool, no worries. I'll see you when I see you, type thing. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. No worries. We do this every week. It's no big deal. You can come anytime. No urgency. No urgency, because it's the standards, right? You lowered your standards. Just like people do when they settle in relationships. It's the exact same thing. I mean, so much about this business is skills that you already have. See, people know how to duplicate, right? We procreate as a species, as a society. We know these core elements, but it's what you're willing to accept. It's what you're willing to tolerate. And so the same thing happens with your business. It's what excuses you're willing to accept. It's how much rejection you're willing to take. It's how many people you're willing to let them put you off and not be excited and not convince them and not show them and not get excited about it. And this is what happens as we go through the inviting process. And that's why when people are brand new, I would prefer to do this with them. I would prefer to make these calls with them, because if I'm listening to you make these calls and I'm seeing your responses on here, I mean, it's like, call me back. I'm not available. Call me back. Like, this is the common thing with a lot of y'all's responses. If it's life or death, if you're calling somebody and it's like you treat it like a 911 call. Okay. Hello, 911. No worries. Can you call me back later? I'm busy right now. I'm talking to somebody else. I don't care what your emergency is or what's going on with you right now. I've got something else going on. So what's your attitude? What's your persona? What's your energy like? Is it important? Is it critical? Are you excited? Are you enthusiastic? Are you confident? Or are you wishy-washy? Are you needy? Are you like this? I mean, nobody else has answered me. Nobody else will talk to me. Nobody else will listen. Nobody else has said yes. Would you please, just please come listen to me for 20 minutes? Like poor me, poor pitiful me, poor puppy dog me? Or are you, this is important, John. Look, I understand you got the Rams game tonight. Look, they're going to win anyways. The Vikings are pretenders. No big deal. I need you to be on this tonight. It's important. It's critical. The owner of the company is going to be on there. He started $1 billion company once. I need you there. This is important. I got to have you look at this. What's your attitude like? So is it 911 or is it just 11? It's not really important. There's no 9. If you just dial 11 on your phone, it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens. You got to dial 911, right? You've got to go through all the motions. You've got to push all the buttons. 2 of the buttons of the 3 doesn't do anything. It's the same thing with an invite that doesn't have the excitement, that doesn't have the enthusiasm, that doesn't have the urgency. And so that's why I'm scrolling through your list. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by the results. Okay. There's not really any lists on here that are really impressive. And it's no offense. It's okay. We're going through mentorship, right? This is common stuff. This is common mistakes. But this is the difference between excellence and results and being average or just mediocre or just getting by, right? And so when you do the invites, having the energy, having the enthusiasm, having the confidence, talking about what we talked about yesterday, treating it like 911, treating it on a one-call basis, one call only, kind of like the presentation. I've talked about this in training, a one-call close. One call close. Because remember the paper analogy. If you haven't seen it, go watch the Bahamas training. I've done it in a couple of trainings. The human brain only can take in, if you're a super genius, 50% of what you take in a 24-hour period, and it's replaced every 24 hours. So that means that you're losing 50% as a super genius every 24 hours with compartmentalizing your data into your brain every 24 hours. So that means that a week later, you have less than 5% of everything you got 7 days before, and that's if you're a super genius. And I hate to break it to you, most of your guests and your prospects, even on your board of directors list, they're not super geniuses. So that means that they're at 1% retention of what you told them within 5 days of them sharing the information with them. How do you expect somebody to make a decision on 1% of the information within 5 days of seeing it? And so it's the same thing with the invite. And so this is really critical to understand. It's about posturing, and it's about how you ask, and it's about what you expect and what your confidence is and what you want your results to be. And so are you going through the motions? Like to me, and like I said, I'm not going to call anybody out. It is what it is. But I'm looking at it, I'm looking at lists and they're like invited. What does that mean? Well, did they see it today? Are they seeing it tomorrow? Didn't answer. Well, did you call him once? Did you call him 2 times? Did you call him 3 times? Did you call him 4 times? Did you call him 5 times? I mean, this is the thing. You have your hands on something that no one else has. People are on their knees. You don't even know that are on your list that are praying for this. And you're playing God now because you have the information. You're in control. You have the data. You have the information. You have the list. This is your list. And so now you're God. You're getting a chance to decide who gets the information and who doesn't. And it's up to you to get that information to them. And so tonight, based on these lists that I'm seeing, the assignment for tomorrow is the same assignment. But tomorrow when we come back, we need to have better results, right? Because at the end of the day, this is our best 10 people. We don't want to start with low-hanging fruit. We don't want to start with people that are going to be the negative Nancys and the people that are sleeping on the couch and, don't have a car and don't have a job. And, we talked about this yesterday, right? This is our board of directors. This is important, critical, man. Think about this for a second. I told you you're starting $1 billion company. You could save the world. This is an invention. This is something that you know could literally change people's lives. That's your attitude. If you had an invention that you created, that you developed, that was your idea, that was your concept, and you believed that could change the world, you're going to tell me no answer, invited, no answer, no answer, invited. If you're trying to start $1 billion company and try to create a board of directors, that's the response that you're going to take? I beg to differ. You think Elon Musk, if he was raising money for PayPal or SpaceX or Tesla, and he had his board of directors, you think he would call them once and invited, no answer, no answer, invited, no answer, call me tomorrow, call me next week? I mean, think about that for a second. Is that the response that Elon Musk is going to take and then use that as his reasoning or justification to take them off the list or put them on the list or to share with him his idea for Tesla or for SpaceX? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I don't think he's going to take that. I think he's going to be more direct. I think he's going to be more attentive. I think he's going to call him more. I think he's going to be more persistent. I think he's going to be more confident. I think he's going to be more serious. I think he's going to be 911 mentality and not 1-1 mentality. So tonight, as soon as we're done, send me this list that you just sent, but we need to do better tomorrow night. Okay, so the assignment for tomorrow night is the same as it was tonight. Okay, that is these 10, we need to talk to all of them. Okay, you need to talk to all 10 in the next 24 hours. Call them 5 times. Call them 10 times. Who cares? The reality is if you call them 10 times, they're going to know it's important. And here's the thing. You're not going to need to call them 10 times, but you might need to call them twice or 3 times or maybe even 4, a couple of them. You're not going to need to call them 10 times in 24 hours. They're going to respond, especially once you call a couple times. They're going to know it's important. What's your attitude? Is it 911 or 1-1? What's your attitude? What's your posture? What's your poise? What's your confidence level? Are you starting SpaceX? Are you starting Tesla? Or are you starting BlackBerry? You know, some company that just was a flash in the pan, some idea didn't make it, didn't stand the test of time. You know, what type of business is it? What's your vision? What's the direction? You know, do they feel that? Are they getting that from you? What's your confidence like? What's your attitude like as you're inviting people? This is the most critical component of what we do. We may spend 3 or 4 or 5 days on this because the reality is that, you know, we've not gotten enough results. It's been 24 hours. I gave you 48 to get them scheduled, but there's a lot of people on here on your list that you didn't reach the majority of your list. You've got 24 hours to get it done. Get it done. You got 10 people. This is the best 10. This is your A team. This is the best people on your list. So let's get out there. Let's call all these people. Let's treat it like 911. One shot, one call. Create urgency. Show them how important it is. Show them your intention. Okay? Show them how committed you are. Make it work. Work around their schedule. Work around the time. Get them to a live meeting. Get them on a Zoom meeting or get them on a recorded presentation. Do whatever it takes. WIT. Whatever it takes. Okay? WIT. Remember that. Write that down. Okay? This is the attitude that you have to have. This is the one call close, one shot close, one shot invite. Have that type of attitude. I promise you're going to see a different results over the next 24 hours. And send me this list tonight. Your homework from last night was obviously calling this list of 10. So send me the list of 10 with the results. You want to keep on the challenge. I need to have everybody's results. But remember, I gave you 48 hours to get them scheduled. So didn't answer, didn't reach, didn't talk to them. That's not complete. Okay. So you got 24 more hours to finish this assignment. I'm going to give you another 24 hours to wrap it up. But we need to move into some other things. We need to get some of these people signed up and get them exposed. I don't see a lot of exposures that have happened in the last 24 hours with these lists. In fact, very, very few, if any. So tomorrow night, I'm hoping that you guys get the majority of these people to a live event tomorrow night or to the Zoom tomorrow night, and then we can talk about signing some of these people up. I want to highlight those of you who get somebody on your board of directors signed up in the next 24 hours. I want to know about it. And if anybody has signed up anybody from the list of 10 in the last 24 hours and you haven't put it already in the chat, can you tell me really quick? I would love to promote that and love to highlight your success. Anybody that got somebody from your top 10 exposed and signed up today? All right. Well, we've got work to do. We've got work to do because everybody has a list of 10. And if nobody's gotten a sale today, Denson, okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, now George, you got one signing up. Denson signed somebody up. Nice. All right, so that's good. So we've got a couple people that have gotten people from their 10 already signed up today. That's great. All right. But tomorrow night, let's see how many people we can get onto this list. How many of you can get somebody on tomorrow night's Zoom? I'll help you guys afterwards. If you want me to help you answer questions, help close people, I'll take the 10 minutes or so that we have before this call in the Zoom. You guys can call me. A couple more people. George, nice job. You've got a few people joining. Um, yeah, and it's all good. I mean, look, this is coaching, this is training, this is teaching. If you didn't get it done today or it didn't go the way you wanted it to, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're talking about this. We can't talk about everything in one session at one time in one night. Nice, Tim. Okay, and we've had several people that have ranked up in the last few days. That's awesome. Tim, congrats by the way on Lifer 800, Lifer 200, another person on their team. So look, this is the reason why we're doing this. That's why we're here. We're all in this together. We're all working on this together. I signed somebody up today who was actually on the training yesterday. In fact, let's see if he's on here right now. Hold on. Tony, are you on here? Let's see. I've got a new guy that was just on last night. He's not on here right now, but he just got on. He missed the Saturday for the challenge, but I signed him up today, so he was going to get on tonight. But I got somebody new in today, and so congrats for those of you. Looks like several of you got sales today. That's awesome, and don't worry about it. Like I said, look, the only reason that I can tell you these things is because I've made these same mistakes. I've done this stuff. I've done it wrong. I would not know how to do it right if I hadn't have done it wrong first. Okay. So the most important thing is that you keep following the program and that you keep making the calls and keep making the invites. And for those of you that didn't get a hold of people, great. You've got a blank slate. You've got an opportunity in the next 24 hours to keep calling those people as many times as it takes to make it happen for tomorrow night. And I would love to see more results tomorrow. Anybody who's getting sales from their list of 10, their board of directors. And then I'm hoping tomorrow night or the next night, as we start making these sales, we can start moving into talking about what to do with these new people, how to get them started, how to answer questions, what to show them first, walk them through the app. We're going to start going through a lot of this stuff, but we've got to get good at getting this list of 10 exposed and on the Zooms, in the meetings, at the live events. And so please make sure that this is your 100% focus for the next 24 hours to get this list of 10 exposed and either to the Zoom tomorrow night or to a live event. If you don't have a live event tomorrow, get them to the Zoom or get them on a recorded Zoom. And here's the thing, don't send them the link to the Zoom until they can watch it. If you're sending them a recorded Zoom, do not send them the link until they can watch it. So say, when you have 20 minutes, I need to know, set an appointment with them, and then send them the link when the 20 minutes begins. Say, look, this is 20 minutes. I'm going to send it to you right now. I'm going to call you in 17 and a half minutes whenever it's over. Okay. So congrats, Denson. Yeah, let's keep it going. But if you would send me a message when we're done about the meetings this week, I'm going to be coming to Atlanta and also to Memphis, it appears, this week. So for those of you that want me to come to your markets, keep me posted on your progress and how things are going. I'll be coming to all of your markets as we grow these weekly events. It was good to see everybody's responses through email yesterday. But now tonight, your homework is to send me your work from yesterday. So send me your list that you just put in the chat. A lot of you via email tonight. That's your homework for tonight. And then for tomorrow's session is to get all 10 of these people contacted and scheduled in the next 24 hours. You've had 48, you got 24 left. So please get it done tomorrow. And let's try to get these people on the Zoom tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And then we'll be right back here, same time, same place tomorrow night. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions, shoot me a message through Instagram and or through my email and or through text for those of you that have my number. Don't worry if you have questions. It's all good. This is what we're doing. We're in this together. We're all gonna make this happen. We're gonna have success. We're gonna have a lot of people hitting live for 7,500. So keep it up. You guys have a great night and God bless.